I'm going through my kit here, doing a minor tweak to my so-called bug out bag, get home bag, whatever bag, recreational bag. For the purpose of an upcoming series or in process series that I'm doing, it's about the infamous bug out bag. I hate calling it that, but just so I don't preach to the choir, that is the term I'm going to use to kind of attract, newbies out there into possibly the realities of a bug out bag, what to pack. It's not a how-to thing. It's more like, this is what I'm doing after X amount of years of backpacking, camping, and fire deployments and so forth. So a little update on my Armageddon apocalyptic hike that I was going to take in mid-September. That was postponed because of finances and time and personal matters. But that's okay. No, it's really not okay. But I'm going to have to postpone that for next year. But I'm having an itchy feeling of going this December, possibly. More than likely I will. So I'm sort of gearing up for a winter hike. We're talking about possibly 50 miles of winter hiking through the Sierras. And that is my worst case scenario for me as far as bugging in home from, a catastrophe, whatever scenario you want to place that. That is in the start of December. It's going to be snowy, so it's going to be a snowshoeing excursion, winter camping. We're talking about 10 days plus out there in the field, with the possibility of the El Nino weather pattern that would possibly dump a whole shitload of snow out there. So this is new territory for me, and I got about 3 months for me to prep for that, or at least get my ducks in a row to see if I could do it. I'm going to use a lot of caution about that, and we'll see what happens. But for this part of the so-called apocalyptic hike or bug out, I'm going over my cordage, and this is in sort of a video response or addendum to Cole Steele's video about Paracord, and this also rides on a video that Canadian Prepper made some time ago about Technicord or something like that. It's basically Kevlar cord for the replacement of the Paracord. Whenever anybody new gets into prepping, the first thing that they hear about or comes out of a YouTube search, it would be the infamous bug out bag and the items you should pack in there. And this is one of them. It's kind of like up there neck and neck in popularity with bug out bags is Paracord. Everybody's got a bracelet. Everybody's got a sling or dog leash made out of this stuff or whatever. But this is old school Paracord. I haven't heard anybody talk about the new school Paracord, the modern day Paracord that skydivers use today. Cole Steele has mentioned some things about it. Yeah, this is old school stuff. This is 550 pounds strength, and it's very good. Don't get me wrong. This is some good stuff. And the inner strands, of course, you could use them for any individual sort of task for those. But out of all the times that I've been out to the field and stuff, I never had to. Things has not gotten bad to where I needed to go break inside a paracord and use the individual fibers in there. If anything, I always carry. This comes from another parachute company, nylon 3-cord strand here. I think it's got a tensile strength of 24 pounds, but I think it holds quite a bit more than that. And this is what I use to sort of as a sewing kit type of thread instead of other things, because this is made for parachute cases. But I have to admit, I also drank a little bit off from the Kool-Aid jug there. I, of course, have brought some Paracord, but maybe once or twice. This is still my first sort of purchase here. And I started thinking from other disciplines like the hammock community and also the skydiving community. And this right here is my jump book, my jumping log. I did roughly 40 something jumps as a civilian skydiver back in the day, 2000. And this is my accelerated free fall program diploma type deal to be able to skydive by myself. So I do know what I'm talking about when it comes to parachuting. Never did it in the military. I'm not that high speed, low drag. But I did it as a civilian. And I know Paracord, it's very good, but it's old school. This is nylon type 3, and it has a lot of stretch. That's why they don't use it for Paracord in today's modern canopies, because the ram air canopies, the square sort of airplane looking parachutes, they need to have sort of that airfoil to, you know, cut through the wind or glide down to safety. And if they use paracord for that, they would have to send in their parachutes every 10 or 15 jumps, because the line will stretch and deform that form that is critical to modern day ram air canopies. What they use instead is Spectracord. This little guy right here. I think they have even smaller stuff called spider wires. I mean, these are all like makes and stuff as far as naming, but bottom line, this is Spectracord or Dyneema. They're both the same material, but made from two different companies, and that's their trademark names, Spectra and Dyneema. It's the same shit. This one here is 1.9 millimeters and it's rated for 550 pounds. So this is your modern day paracord right here. This guy right here. And I got a bunch of knots that I practice with. Here you have the Alpine butterfly, the bowline, the 69 knot. Got a adjustable hitch, sheep's bend knot there. When I'm just sitting around doing nothing, I just practice my knots. So this 1.9 millimeter diameter cord is equivalent to this guy right here, and is 1/3 the weight of paracord, old style paracord. So for the bulk and weight for this hank of paracord that I have here, here's the replacement at 1/3 the weight. And I could add a couple of more lengths of equal length and be almost the same as a full hank of paracord, or this hank right here. So I'm able to have the same sort of performance with more cordage. Granted, it's smaller, but it's some good stuff. A little bit more expensive than paracord, of course, but this will last you for a lifetime just about. UV ray resistance. It's abrasion resistant. It floats on water actually, and it's hardly really low stretch. This will stretch quite a bit, the paracord, but the Spectra line will hardly stretch at all. A normal canopy will probably jump a good, I don't know, 500 times before they have to send it in to have it relined, because after all those stresses, the even spectral cord will stretch a little bit to kind of deform it just a little bit. So it ain't foolproof, but it's better than paracord as far as the stretching, or no stretch at all. So here in my ribs pack, I keep a little baggie of cordage. And like I said, I replaced the paracord, the old style paracord, with spectra cord here. Along with that, I have some bank line. This stuff right here, number 36, and this is rated for 228 pounds roughly. And this is pretty much my sacrificial cordage, and I have, I think, 50 feet worth of that in there. And yeah, this is what I use for BS lashing or whatever out in the field if I need to, and really inexpensive and good enough for small task. And then in there I have some jute twine, this guy right here. And any smaller diameter than this, you're just wasting your money because it breaks easily. This here is It's alright, but like I said, this is sacrificial cordage to use on, I don't know, tent lines or whatever, lashing of little minor stuff here and there. So between the bank line and the juke line, uh, this is what I use to just for BS projects that I could cut up and everything. And I leave the spectral cord as fully intact as possible. Only if I really need this is when I would use it. One other thing with jute twine there, it's a really flashy fuel for starting fires. Look at that. So if you flare it out pretty good, it'll give out a nice little flash, but it doesn't last too long. But it kind of looks like it's doing okay as a sort of match there. So that's somewhat of a natural fire starter right there to have on your kit. And I'm trying to put it out and it doesn't want to go out. Look at that. There you go. Finally goes out. Multi-purpose. Well, if that doesn't convince you to kind of change up your paracord to something more of an upgrade, stepping up your game, like I said, this little smaller diameter cord here is rated for 550 pounds spectral line, and it's 1.9 millimeters. And here's your 550 cord. This is called Am Steel. There's two versions. They come in various colors, and it's 7/64 of an inch diameter. And this stuff right here is rated for an average of 1,600 pounds. And it's practically the same diameter as regular paracord, old school paracord. So you got 550, and this is 3 times stronger at around 1,600 pounds of tensile strength. Really cool stuff. This is made for the boating industry and winch industry, and this particular line here I got off of Amazon, and it was made for spear guns. So when you spear a halibut or something, you can reel it in with this stuff. And this particular one from eBay, or not eBay, Amazon, has sort of a waxy coating too, so I figure that's to sort of protect it even more from salt water. But yeah, really good stuff, and no more paracord for me. I'm going spectral line for now on. The one con, or there's a few cons, but the one major con that I have about this stuff, especially this smaller diameter, is your knots. All the knots that I use are easy knots to sort of untie, like this butterfly, alpine butterfly knot there. It's easy to undo. 69 knot, easy to undo. All these knots are easy to undo, so you will not have to cut your line to use it or something like that. It's really hard to sort of get your fingers in there, and I'm thinking, since I'm going into the cold weather hiking pretty soon in December, that's going to be a problem for me. But I won't know until I'm out there, see how I'm going to deal with this particular problem. But I'm not going to upgrade this any bigger. This is good so far. Also, another problem with Amp Steel or Dyneema spectral cord is that it's very slippery. So brand spanking new, it doesn't hold a knot very well, but after some usage and a little bit of abrasion, it holds a knot pretty well. So I can hold tools with this or whatever. Basically, I make little sort of retaining devices here, so I can retain tools and stuff off my climbing belt when I go working on communication towers. So there you have it. Stepping up your game to Spectra to replace your old school paracord. Alright guys, with that in mind, adjust your tactics.